Welcome to episode 6 of the mid-season team reviews. For this episode, we are looking at ConorBe. Current record 12-2, all league record 6-5-26 with an implied record of 10-4. So it is a squad that, based on points for, based on head-to-head potential, is overperforming a little bit. But I mean, 10-4 is no slouch of a record. 7-0 against the median, so consistently good, but no weekly wins. Last 2 weeks have been top three, but prior to that, we're week one, sixth, fourth, sixth, fifth, seventh, and then second and third last 2 weeks. So consistently good, but one of those squads that on any given week, there's a few teams generally finishing ahead. So if those were the head-to-head matchups, we'd be seeing losses there. But I mean, at 12-2, even at 10-4, it's a squad looking well in terms of playoff opportunity and playoff chances. Points for 822, max points for 951, both fifth in the league. Realized points 86%, above average. So making some good decisions in terms of start-sit decisions. Points against 738. It's not high. It's kind of middle of the pack as well, which is reflected in the strength of schedule. Thus far, seventh hardest schedule. Remainder of the season will be eighth hardest schedule based on what we're seeing thus far. So a very balanced schedule throughout the season. As I've mentioned in one of the previous episodes, no team has ever gotten to 17 wins and missed the playoffs. So with 7 weeks left, 5 wins away from that, it's a squad that you can pretty much pencil into the playoffs. You could even press hard with that pencil. Top dynasty assets: Justin Herbert, Cooper Kupp, Travis Kelce, Derrick Henry, Geno Smith. You'll notice a bit of a trend in these assets, and this trend extends beyond the top 5 dynasty assets, that this team is older. Of their top 12 scorers this year, 9 of them are 28 years old or more. The only young contributors, Justin Herbert, who has scored the most points on this team, Tutu Atwell, which is 7th most, and Chuba Hubbard, which is 11th most. So the other 9 members of their top 12 scoring, we've got Derrick Henry, Cooper Kupp, DeAndre Hopkins, Travis Kelce, Gus Edwards, Kendrick Bourne, Russell Wilson, Geno Smith, and Ezekiel Elliott. It's a squad that's definitely built to win now and pay the bills later. Looking at the picks, we've got all of our picks plus an extra third. So the cupboard is full as far as picks if we want to make a push for the playoffs, or if that's something that they want to hold on to and use that to transition out of this older core as they age. Now, these aren't your typical older players, though. I mean, Cooper Kupp, as we've seen since he's come back from injury, top 3 performer at the wide receiver position. Travis Kelce is the top performer at the tight end position. Derrick Henry. Everyone thinks Derrick Henry's dead, but his performances thus far have been great. I mean, Tennessee just had their bye week, but in his 6 weeks, he has 4 top 15 weeks, and he's averaging 15.2 points a week. Those are not nothing numbers. He's still contributing at a high level. The snap share isn't the same as it was in the past when he was taking every carry, but the carries he's getting, he is performing with them. It is a team that is pretty much destined for the playoffs, but as we kind of highlighted earlier here, doesn't seem to have that boom potential to the same level as some of the other competitors. Now, that being said, Cooper Kupp was out most of the year, and I mean, Cooper Kupp himself offers a lot of that. Combine that with Travis Kelce and Justin Herbert, and the boom's probably a little higher than what we've seen thus far. But you've got Russ and Geno, and I mean, current iteration Derrick Henry, all probably not likely to give you those weak winning performances. I mean, Derrick Henry maybe still has that in him. The 2 quarterbacks I mean, that's a weekly decision, right? Which one to start? Because even if you do see those booms, it might be on the bench. You can only start three, and Justin Herbert's locked into the QB spot. Kendrick Bourne, Tutu Atwell, Gus Edwards, DeAndre Hopkins, like those guys are not giving booms anymore. DeAndre Hopkins is in QB purgatory on a bad squad. Um, Gus Edwards is unlikely to catch many balls. He's not going to get that catch for 90 yards like he did last week all that often. Tutu's got a cup problem, so though he's been a contributor thus far, unless there's an injury to Puka Nacua or Cooper Cup, Tutu's probably not cracking the lineup. Kendrick Bourne is sneaky involved, and New England's passing game has looked a lot better recently. So it's an interesting thing to keep an eye on. So combined warp of the top 10 players, you can see it on the screen there, sixth rank in the league, and again, kind of speaks to that. This is a playoff team, but the numbers don't say it's a top three team. Now that being said, you make the playoffs, anything can happen. You have Cup, Kelsey, and Herbert go on heaters during playoffs. This team could easily take its way to the championship, but it's basically our old man strength team. It's it's kind of neat to see. I mean, and it is an overachieving team. Preseason projections had them projected to go 14-14 with a 36% chance to make the playoffs. That playoff chance has moved its way up quite significantly, up to about 90, 98%, 99%. So we flipped that preseason narrative on its head with this squad. And I mean, honestly, there's not much more to say. Like, it'll be interesting to see how this goes down line. Down line, if the older players on this squad can maintain through the end of the season, if Cooper Cup can continue to be just a monster, and if health maintains, this is a dangerous squad. It's one where the depth will help. It can cover up a couple injuries, but probably Cup, Kelsey, Herbert need to stay healthy and need to be big contributors for the squad to be a true contender and a true threat to Devils' reign.